anything. Nobody say hi.
Nobody.
I see 6 person waiting though.
No.
Yeah, there are people waiting, but it's not coming live on YouTube.
It needs a while, actually.
But not so long.
Yeah, it doesn't need so long. How long have we been? Oh, we've been online for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been on. No, I think people have been.
Okay, it's on now.
How come?
Okay.
It's delayed. The front part is cut off.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Hi, people. Sorry, you all didn't hear what we said.
Hi, people. Sorry. No, it's better than it
Hi,
is.
there was-
I think
There was a
so.
technical glitch.
So we horrified the system so much that it just cut us off. Like we will do this, they're like, no, enough of that. So they just cut us off. That's what happened.
Yeah, there was a technical glitch, and we are here now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are here now. Okay, besides us being here, you all know what else is here? Something else was happening over the weekend, right? There were lots of reports about it. And this is the thing that's coming out from, not coming out, but it's only been more, there are more cases of it in Africa, right? Previously.
Yes.
Isn't it Africa? Yes, right? Previously,
Yes.
yeah. Then, but now it's starting to kind of make its way out to other countries. So the thing I'm talking about is basically monkeypox. Actually, I didn't
Yeah,
know what's
and-
monkeypox.
Our title is MoneyBox.
MoneyBox and You. So basically, how monkeypox will affect money and us. But actually, before this thing happened, I didn't even know what's monkeypox. I didn't even know there was such a thing as monkeypox.
Yeah,
But then, if you think about it, it makes sense. If there's chickenpox, then there'll be monkeypox, right? Or duckpox.
would there be human pox?
Or gorilla pox.
There's no fish pox.
No, because fish and us, we not close enough, I guess, right? Monkeys
Yeah,
are
we're
like
not-
like mammals, right? I don't know.
Well, then what's about? There's no pig. Is it called pig pox?
Pig pox. Pig pox. Okay. If there really is pig pox and it's horrible, I'm sorry to make a joke of it, but can you imagine me saying, "Oh, I've got pig pox"? Sounds kind of sorry.
Well, there's no cow pox.
But there's cow disease,
Yeah, there's mad cow disease.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because monkeypox, at first I thought it was a joke, because now TikTok and all that, they have all this kind of like, they try to make memes out of things, right? So I was like, is this a joke? Yeah, but also it's not a joke, it's real. So, monkeypox, apparently, it used to be quite common in Africa, certain parts of Africa only, but recently more and more cases of it have sprung out across Europe, I think, and where else? There's one other country.
Europe, US, and
US.
Australia.
The Angmos get it first.
Yeah, the Amor get it first. Wow, we're so bad. Anyway, the Amor get it first, is spreading to the developed countries. So it become a developed countries.
But have they found out I know I've been reading up, but I don't think they have found the reason why it's starting to have more cases.
But a little bit of context, please, because I didn't read about it at all. I only read the headlines.
Okay, so basically what happened was that like I said, monkeypox is a disease that is more common in certain parts of Africa, only certain parts of Africa. But recently, more and more cases have started surfacing in what Juno was saying, Australia, Europe, and US.
Yeah, let me give a little bit more details to
Okay,
that.
something else. Okay, go.
There's two strains. There's two strains of monkeypox, and the most severe strain is actually in Central Africa, and in West Africa portion is actually the milder strain. Now, monkeypox is endemic in West Africa as well as Central Africa.
Okay.
They're endemic, which means the people actually live with the virus.
So it's like a flu to them.
It's like a flu, but it's by correct pox. I mean,
Okay, I know what I mean. Obviously, it's more severe than a flu.
It's more severe than flu. What are the symptoms? First, people will get fever, headache. You get a little bit like flu-like stuff, but you will have a fever, and then after that, your body will have rashes, and then they will blister, similar to chickenpox with blister and all the stuff. Now, the fatality rate is not low. No, it's not like it's not like flu kind of rate. I mean, the milder strain is about 1%. Okay, 1% fatality rate. and the more severe strain will cause something about 5 to 10%. So it's actually not. I mean, people will die from it one.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not that not
you have the
fatal.
underlying illness and all the stuff, you can die from it. So your immune system is not good, you can die from it. But most people will recover from it. Okay, especially the milder one, most people will recover it. And it seems like the one that is spreading at the moment is probably the milder one. It actually, the first discovered cases was actually in UK. So UK discovered in early May, I think about between 6 to 14 of May, discovered, I can't remember what is 14. Around early May, they discovered about, over a period of time, they discovered 14 cases and was spreading very fast. And then eventually, within a week or two, it was spreading through Europe already. And then by the end of, now we're in which, we are almost in, what, today is what?
We're coming to end of May. Last
Oh,
week of May.
when the third week of May, we are the last week of May, right?
Yeah.
And last week,
Yeah,
since last week, I think it is, or late last week, the first case was found in US and also found in Australia, and it has spread all the way to Sweden already. So from early part of May, around 6 May, and it spreads within 3 weeks to so far, and even across continents, it's actually spreading very fast. So to me, I was a little bit concerned because of the way it was spreading. Now, should all of us be concerned because we just came out? The pandemic is not really over. The COVID
Yeah,
pandemic.
it's not even come out yet.
Yeah, we are still like
We are not done.
we are not done because China, the big population there is still fighting, and then Taiwan is also now battling it. Oh, by the way, Taiwan is not having zero COVID policy anymore, so it started opening, and the cases go all the way to 90,000 cases per day, and people are dying at the rate of 50 to 70 deaths per day, which is normal. 50 to 70 deaths based on that ratio per their population, but 23 million people is actually not very high. But yeah, but a lot of people are dying. So we are still coming out of the pandemic, but now this monkeypox is just spreading. So there's a little bit of concern. The thing is, monkeypox, unlike COVID-19, it is not spread through respiration, it's not a respiratory virus. So it doesn't spread through our nasal cavity and all those stuff, which that's why
It's not so
COVID-19 spreads so fast.
transmissible.
So it's not so transmissible. Monkeypox is actually spread through close contact. So if people, so the key part of it that's being spread through is bodily fluid. So it actually can spread through saliva. And it can spread to touch, but and I mean, I would say short.
Sex.
No, quick contact. If you touch a person quickly, everything, I don't think it will spread. But if you are
But if you touch a person slowly, they will
Caressing the person.
hugging and all those things, and then I don't know, your saliva go all over the place and all those things, yeah, it will spread. Things like that, because even if you're breathing out and all those things, so it's basically through close contact, but it's not like a quick contact you will spread. It takes some level of closeness.
Yeah, so are we PG? Are we PG or RA today? Are we PG or RA today?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I'm always RA.
I'm just saying it's sex, you every told the
Yeah,
whole world.
okay,
that
but
it's about sex.
anyway, that's the reason why it's getting more and more concerned now, because the cases seem to be spreading outwards in like more.
Yeah,
and
the
more.
only instance where you have so much saliva going around is only one setting for that.
Yeah, but then I mean, if you have an open wound and then, I mean, it can spread through it also because
Yeah, but you're not going to lick the open wound.
It's open to do with saliva.
No, but then if you have
Bodily
an open
fluids
wound,
got many
You mean
kind.
two open wounds.
yeah.
Hey, let me
And then
touch my open wound to your open wound.
Okay,
My avatar, is it?
but the thing is that it is it has actually quite a long incubation period lah. So the moment you get
Oh, so
contact
people
with
won't
it,
know,
that's-
is it?
yeah, you won't know because there's an incubation period. The incubation period can be up to, I think it's about 2 weeks. Um, so sometimes
That's
you,
quite
you won't know about it. But according to what is known medically, is that a person is most infectious when they start developing the rash, not the pox, the rash.
Or like chicken pox.
You will have the rash before the pox. So once the rash starts
I saw the
showing,
pictures. It's quite
I
It's quite
think
it's
it's
always yeah, when you have,
painful, you
have you had
know.
chicken pox before? When I had chicken pox, I also what?
No, but chicken pox is itchy. Like you scratch, right? But I think this monkeypox looks painful.
I think it's I don't know. So,
Right,
but
yeah,
anyway, it can be. Most people will how do I say it can be? There's no cure for it like any virus. It's a viral.
Oh, so you
infection.
have to recover by yourself, lah.
You have to recover.
yeah,
Your
so
immune
you,
system
so,
to fight.
yeah, or you get vaccinated,
Oh,
or
that's
you get
true.
or you
But
get
monkeypox
vaccinated.
I think monkeypox is not prevalent enough to be vaccinated.
There is no vaccine for monkeypox at the moment.
Developed
What,
Yeah.
yet.
what
Not
people are
enough.
using to fight
Yeah, not enough.
But
Not enough.
what people
Not
are
enough
using to
demand.
fight it is using smallpox vaccine
Ugh,
because it's
does it
Does
work?
it work?
So
well,
what if you have a disease called big pox? Sorry.
No, Denise, it's not called smallpox because it's
I don't know. You see all these
No,
pox, right?
Denise.
Chicken pox. Then you have chicken pox and monkey pox. Then small pox. Then big pox. Okay, and then something
It's
else. I
being
know Juno is
power.
Juno is trying very hard to be serious, but I got one last thing to say about this monkey pox. So the less severe, there are two strains, right? So the less severe one is called monkey pox, and the more severe one is what called gorilla pox.
Gorilla
Okay, end of that. It's not true. Okay, there's only one type, it's monkeypox. Okay, sorry,
Oh.
sorry to our audience. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
moving on.
So
Let's be serious.
anyway, because monkeypox is actually kind of close to it's a milder version. I wouldn't say milder version. It's a virus that's similar
Similar.
to smallpox, and they
Oh,
found that they can use smallpox vaccine to kind of help
build up the resistance.
build up the resistance. So a lot of places at the moment in Europe now they are given, especially for the people in the front line, in the medical, not in the front line, sorry, I won't use the word front line, in the medical industry, or they are tending to people, they are given smallpox vaccine.
Smallpox vaccine.
Yeah. Well, they say a smallpox vaccine it's a good thing. Like it's a good thing they never throw away smallpox, but smallpox is actually supposedly eradicated already from. It's a good thing they never throw away the vaccine.
No, like eradicated, it will come back in some other form.
yeah. So let's talk about the
How it
impact
affects
of,
us financially.
of
Affects us and
monkeypox.
our chickens financially. Chickens. Okay, context. Okay, so context. Actually, the chicken, the thing about Malaysia stopping the export of chickens is not connected to monkeypox, right?
There's nothing to do with the monkeys.
Yeah,
Then what is
nothing to do
chicken?
with it. Okay,
And even if the
I
chicken
see.
pox has nothing to do with the chicken pox as well.
I know. I know. No, I know. Hey, hello, it's a joke. Okay.
Okay, Malaysia is not banning the export of chicken because of chicken pox, which
Or
is not
monkeypox
related to
to
monkeypox,
chicken.
and there is no outbreak of chicken pox at the
And chicken
moment.
pox. Chicken pox also not related to chickens, right?
No, they are
No.
not related to chicken at
So
all.
Malaysia is not banning the export of chicken because of chicken pox, which has nothing to do with chickens. Also nothing to do with
But
monkeypox,
they-
which has nothing to do with monkey.
But they are potentially related, which has
Oh.
got to do with
Mm.
a lot of side effects of things happening in the world
Yes.
today.
So what? Okay. So I think we can phrase it this way. So basically, Malaysia banning the export of chickens, right, is simply a sign of how the economy has become and what are the measures that the countries are taking to kind of try to turn things around, even if it's not a long-term solution. Is that a good phrasing?
I am confused.
I'm confusing everybody. Okay, sorry, stop talking. Please go, Chunho or Douglas, about the chicken export and how it's linked.
Well, let me just
to
finish up a little
monkeypox.
bit on the monkeypox. Really, at the moment, monkeypox is not going to spread very fast. Okay, I know the media has been talking about it like that, but it is not going to spread the way COVID-19 has spread. It is spreading a little bit fast. There's some concern there because it has come out of West Africa and Central Africa and is going to countries that's not commonly haven't been exposed to this virus, and suddenly it's just spreading, and it's spreading quite fast, which means there's a lot of close contact intimacy going around. They're spreading. Maybe people
Yeah,
are just
because fresh out of COVID, fresh out
Yeah.
of isolation.
just fresh out
Lack,
isolation.
lack of touch.
I need
Let's
some
not-
touch.
So the thing that's been happening, the thing that is happening right now is that people are starting to travel when they have not been traveling for the last 2 years. Okay,
Yeah,
countries are
people
opening
are
up.
deprived.
Yes.
Yeah, so
people-
and they're not and as
No,
much
wait.
as we don't talk about it. No,
No,
so,
no,
okay,
no,
I expect,
no, no. Parties, there's a lot of parties going on. People go party, go clubbing,
But party
and
is just
they get
within the
in close
country
contact
itself.
in a small little room. Everybody is touching each other.
And the saliva
come on,
also
no,
touch each
you know
other.
that's not that's not it. Okay, the thing that we don't talk about a lot. Okay, the thing that the world doesn't talk about a lot. Okay, when people travel, inevitably a part of that travel will involve certain intimate contact. Okay, as much as we don't talk about it, it happens.
Why
Okay,
don't
especially
have?
when people travel to exotic places and they want to have exotic experiences with other exotic people.
How come I don't have these exotic experiences?
Oh, God, okay.
Oh, they,
These single people, and then no, people have one night stand. They travel, they have one night
I
stand and all those things. And then
know,
if they
but
go
how
to
come I
Las
don't get any
Vegas,
of
they'll
those
say, no,
exotic
what
experiences?
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, kind of thing, you know. And then they go to
I wish
I
Casablanca,
could see
they go to you know where, they go to Canes, they go
I
to
know, I
Keys.
know.
They say,
I know what you
what
mean.
happens in these states in these, what happens in Canes, stay in Canes.
So are you guys
Why?
saying that's how monkeypox
Pox.
spread?
that is
So receiving a
potentially
vaccine.
that's potentially one of the possibilities.
Okay, but something else I'm very curious about, right? Because if the traveling and all the exotic experiences were so, if it contributed lah, then before COVID when we could all travel, it would have spread then already. You get what I mean? But it's only
Not
starting
really.
now post COVID. So is it because everybody haven't had exotic experiences for 2 years? Suddenly, 2 years come out
Yes.
from the cage like some I don't
Well,
know thirsty person.
But you have to remember the situation now. We are in Singapore, and most of us are still wearing masks when we go out.
Oh,
Even though we are able to not wear masks in outdoors,
Mm.
but a lot of people are still wearing masks, and people are still staying away from close contact. But in Europe, it's a different story, especially in UK. UK was one of the first one to remove all restrictions, no mask required, and that what social distances are all gone already. So all sorts of contact is
taking place.
taking place, and everybody is having parties, everybody is going everywhere, everybody is flying all over. In Europe, in US, there are still certain places they are wearing masks. Even in Australia, very few people wear masks nowadays. So because they are learning to live with the COVID-19, but the thing is, everybody is more freely in more close contact with each other. They will hug. I mean, it's no longer like last time. So last time when we still having COVID-19, people have social distancing, like 1 meter distancing or whatever. So so I'm just saying that, and then a lot of places started to open clubs, parties, karaoke. Karaoke is more Asia side. Club, partying. I mean, when people go partying, you have to remember this. In the US, when people go to the bars, people go partying, people go clubbing, they'll pick up somebody.
So back to sex.
That's
What?
like how I felt at Oreo.
Oh, I thought that was a condom. No.
Who so big need such a big condom? You tell me. You tell
Yeah,
me.
so we don't know why it suddenly came up when
Okay,
yeah.
but
So that's a good question, because if it was due to this, then it would have, right? It wouldn't have waited.
long
So
ago.
it
Yeah,
wouldn't have been
pre-COVID,
hiding,
right?
and then
Yeah,
suddenly,
I
yeah,
know,
it's
I
time. So
Yeah, it's
I
monkey
mean,
time.
like most mysteries in life,
It should remain
I
unsolved.
guess I guess like most mysteries in life, this is a very difficult question to answer.
Okay, but that's not the point of today's
Yeah.
conversation. The point of today's conversation is how this monkeypox or the potential spread of monkeypox can potentially affect us and it potentially affect our economy,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
some examples can be seen from how COVID has already affected our economy.
Yes.
I'm so smart. Suddenly.
Yeah, you're so smart. Yeah. So I mean, at the moment, it's not spreading. It's not spreading very fast. Actually, it's not something to be concerned of, but it is something that we need to
Watch out for.
keep track on. We need to monitor and watch, because if it's spreading fast enough, there are chances that it will mutate, and when there's higher chance of it mutating, there's a higher chance of it become more transmissible, and then it become more transmissible, and it either can be more severe or more people get infected, and that can become a problem, because we just came out of this 2 year plus. We haven't come out of it yet. We're just easing out of this 2 year plus of pandemic, and suddenly, if this monkeypox become another transmissible virus, countries are start going to contain
It's
here,
all going
restrict there again.
to start
And-
again.
Yeah, it's just like when COVID started. I think not a lot of people expected the impact, and it seemed like it's just another flu virus, and so people were complacent,
Carry
okay,
on.
to some extent, and now the reverse with a new disease. Okay, it's not actually a new disease, but a disease that hadn't been spreading before, that is suddenly now starting to spread in a way that it didn't happen before. It is raising some red flags. And even though, and especially because it can only be transmitted through close contact, which means that it should be limited. The spread should be limited, but it is not. Okay, so it is all these contradictions that's creating a concern, something that requires intimate contact and very close contact to spread is actually being found in in different parts of the world. Okay, and some of these cases, they cannot find how they are related. Okay, which creates a lot of gaps. Okay, and gaps are very scary because we don't know what's happening, and the result of that could be governments stepping up and curbing travel, or again, okay, or putting in certain measures which will create restrictions which have now barely started to be removed.
Yeah. Karaoke may shut down again. No hanky-panky anymore.
So I think we have already felt the impact of and the effect of how COVID as a pandemic has really affected us and our economy, right?
Yeah,
So we talk about
and
it.
and you know, COVID was just okay. COVID was difficulty breathing, and then eventually dying because of that. But imagine monkeypox. You get all these rashes, and it's going to hurt a lot more, no?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but-
probably going to hurt a lot. Yeah,
But the thing
so-
is,
so, okay,
the other thing that I also want to highlight is we actually talk about this, the Ukraine war and us. Okay, we talk about it in our session. it's called what, Ukraine and You, is it? Or Ukraine and Us? Sorry, Ukraine and Us. In one of the sessions.
Was it Ukraine and us? It's just everything and us lah. Okay.
Yeah, it's Ukraine and Us. And we talk about, because while the Omicron was kind of easing, and then we realized that the Omicron, we're able to live with Omicron, then I think the world is starting to open up again. And then the Ukraine war happened. During the pandemic, the global supply chain was already broken up and then in shambles already, because countries were just locking down here and there. The supply chain was actually broken not really broken into pieces, but it's actually has a lot of gaps here and there. And so the distribution of some necessities is actually very difficult and disrupted. And so it actually increased the prices of a lot of necessity. So that's why early this year the inflation started to happen. And then Ukraine war happened, and then Ukraine war disrupted the
Some more.
supply chain further, especially food and fuel. And then there was a sudden shot up in prices for both food and fuel. And that actually exacerbated everything. And then after that, China, Omicron get into China, and then China start locking down, Shanghai started locking down Beijing, and then it affected even the export from China, which it disrupted the supply chain further, and then the inflation just keep going up and up. And the first thing that happened was Indonesia banned the export of palm oil. I mean, I don't know whether you have heard of it. Indonesian banned the export of palm oil because food prices is going up so much that it makes more sense for if people that produce palm oil, it makes sense for them to export the palm oil. But if they export the palm oil, then domestically there will be less palm oil available, and then the prices domestically will go up. So the inflation that's happening internationally will then infiltrate into domestic market and then pushes. That's why they ban the export of palm oil, so that they can keep most of the palm oil within the country to keep the palm oil prices for the domestic market stable and low. And then recently, India banned the export of sugar for the same reason, because they want to stabilize the sugar prices domestically, because otherwise sugar prices is just shooting up. And for the same reason, Malaysia is banning the export of
Chickens.
because they want to stabilize the chicken prices, and until the until the production of chicken stabilizes and they come to a level where they are able to export again.
But all this can go on and on and on and on and on. All the countries can continuously, restrict their own export. Yeah.
So this is where we are going, and
Where does that leave us?
it's a chain reaction.
It's a chain reaction. So I mean, if monkeypox becomes more transmissible and is spread, and then there are more curves and stuff, it will actually cause more disruptions to the supply chain, and then food prices is going to go up further, and then eventually, I mean, globally the economy is just going to do very badly, and then it will affect all of us, because inflation affects everybody. Because at the moment, the rate of all our salary increment is not keeping pace with inflation. And inflation goes going up, every dollar that we actually earn
Has less value.
has less value. So if eventually it will hurt our
We
pocket.
spent all our money yesterday.
Too late already. It's today already.
Too late.
Yeah,
Too late.
but
Yesterday is
okay
gone.
lah. But it's true that in the current situation, if you have a war chest, then maybe it's time to start using it a little bit.
They really started. Whose
I
watches
know
are you
lah.
talking about?
Whoever, like, if you have one, what I mean is you have money
Our
to
own.
invest. It's time,
I tell you, if you have
time to do a bit of
if
shopping.
you have investments, some of this investment probably has lost its value already. If you have
Yeah,
invested in the
correct.
stock market, you probably have lost a chunk of money already. I actually lost half my value. I mean, on paper lah, half.
I know.
Because there's the stock market everybody's just selling. It's like in panic mode like that. And then cryptocurrency also selling. People panic here and there. So the cryptocurrency market is a different story for another day. I mean, there's another thing that happened over there. So anyway, this is basically what's happening. So the real reason to be concerned about monkeypox is really how you affect us and how you will actually disrupt the supply chain if it happens to be more transmissible. But at the moment, I don't think it will be.
So what do you think we should do?
So I was just thinking that so a few weeks ago we had Money and You, right? Was it 4 weeks ago? But yeah, about 4 weeks ago we had Money and You, right? Yeah. And after that we ran a program, Dominic Leone's Big Business Masterclass, and during the masterclass he talked about the knockout punch. Okay, he talked about so it was a business program, right? And he talked about the knockout punch.
Are we still live?
Huh?
Are we still live?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so he talked about the knockout punch, where it is that thing that will happen that will wipe your business out. and so in the same way, if we look at the mechanics of economies of the world, that includes supply chain, that includes food distribution, that includes money movement and all that, right? It's looking at what the knockout punch may be, okay, or what potentially can be the knockout punch. So COVID was very close to being the knockout punch, but we figured a way around it. And then now post-COVID, there's all these other smaller punches that are being thrown, okay, that include the things that Chunho mentioned earlier, the Ukraine. Is it a war or conflict? Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, the that thing that's going on, and then the China attempting to do COVID zero and then failing because they just can't handle this new Omicron, and then the food shortages and all that, and now it seems like new diseases are emerging that could potentially be additional punches. So there may not be one big knockout punch, but a few small punches, bang, 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 and then the system collapses. So I think it is. I feel that COVID was the first punch, okay, that actually needed for us to look at things in the longer term, okay, to do things differently. But I guess humanity, we didn't really learn from that. Okay, we got past it, but I don't know whether we really learned from that because other things started to come. So maybe it's playing the game differently or learning to play a different game. Okay, if we want to get out of this, it's not swinging within the same spectrum. Okay, if this happens and then we react, this happens and then we react, this happens and then we react, because we're still playing in the same environment with the same rules, with the same whatever that's going on. Maybe it's time to take a look at how we can play a different game. Okay, and I think that's the question. That's the bigger question. How do we play a bigger game that would then resolve a lot of the underlying things that's happening? And that's I think that's a big question to ask. I think that's a big question that all of us need to start taking a look at, instead of just looking for solutions within the existing problem space. Because we might solve this and then another thing comes up and then we keep reacting, we keep fighting fires, and then fires keep coming and we keep fighting fires. Okay, when we maybe just need to get out of this space, okay, and avoid the fires altogether. Yeah, so monkeypox. Okay, why is MoneyBox? MoneyBox was the autocorrected version of monkeypox.
Well,
And,
yeah. Well, I mean, you brought a good point, and this reminded me of. I think most people know about Star Trek, right?
I'm watching it now on Netflix.
There's many Star Trek. There's Star Trek Discovery, there's Star Trek Picard, and there's Star Trek the movie series and the old Star Trek and those things. But in the world of Star Trek, in that future, in that distant future, I don't know how distant that is, of Star Trek, most people have food to everybody. There's abundance of food. There is no such thing as people going hungry. And people, they call it work. I mean, people have a job not because they want to make money. They don't earn a salary. So I was watching as I didn't know that until recent episode, because there was one episode that they actually came back. The people in the Star Trek time, they actually went back to the past and then talked to the people in the past, and then they were talking and they said, "No, we don't. We have a job. We do our job because we want to contribute to humanity and progress humankind. We don't do the job because we want to make money. There's no such thing as money in the future in that time in Star Trek." So most people don't I mean, most people don't starve. People are not, there's no such thing as short of food, and there's no such thing as not enough money. There's no money to go around, and people are just all treated equally, and people have access to necessities, food, the basic necessity, shelter, food, as well as medicine. So technology became that advanced that if you have all these whatever, they just put this capsule thing, and then they're treated. Even I remember I was watching this show where Patrick Stewart is the recent one that is on Star Trek Picard, where he actually also went back to the past, and then they went back to the past in the 90s, I think. And then the doctor was trying to treat him, and then the first question, does he have any implants or have any implants or anything? Then the person, the person talking to the doctor, yes, plenty. So people in the future, if they have diseases or what, they have implants here and then replace here and there synthetically. Most of the implants are synthetic. So that's how advanced it is. So I am just responding to what Douglas is saying. Maybe the issue is the division of humankind and dividing people by food, necessity, and using money to divide people. Maybe it's not the right solution forward.
Maybe it's time for us to recognize that the system is broken or the system doesn't work in many areas. But those are very difficult questions to answer. Those are very difficult goals, okay, to have. So I don't have a solution either. Okay, I don't have a solution either. I have a lot of questions. Okay, and the questions are really about how can we play a different game. And I think those are very important questions to ask. How do we play a different game that would then create a different reality for us instead of us scrambling in this current reality? And what Chunho was saying earlier about money. Okay, so money was invented, was an idea that somebody came up with about how we can create exchange. But in many cases, we have seen how the money game or the money system that we have doesn't work. Okay, in the way it creates struggle and challenges and obstacles and inequality and it's 2022. It's 2022, and we are still
like that.
I don't know. There's so many problems that exist that we are not solving. Because a lot of if you look at it, a lot of the problems that are being solved, a lot of things that are being driven are driven economically. Okay, because there's money at the end of that thing that's being done. But if we were to take money out of that thing, then would we actually invest so much resources to do the things that we need to do? Okay, the creation of vaccines, medicine. Okay, talk about big pharma and all that. Okay, is very financially driven. Okay, of course, under the mandate of finding ways to treat diseases and all that. But if we look beyond that, there is still the financial conversation that goes on. Okay, for a very long time as well, the petrochemical industry, okay, fossil fuels, okay, it's driven by money.
Hmm.
Okay, until recently, and I think the technology for electric vehicles we've had for a very long time. Okay, except that the money in petrochemicals, fuels, and all that overshadowed the technology that we had for electric vehicles until recently when other bigger problems needed to be solved. So the system is not the problems in the system, and until we are able to recognize that and change the game, I think we're just going to continue going around in circles like we are doing right now. And I think that's the question that all of us need to think about.
And just add on a little bit, I feel that touches on to the concept of scarcity as well.
Mm.
Because when
It
there's
does.
money in when there's money in play, then we feel that when then there's scarcity, and then we think about wanting more because there's not enough for everybody. It's like how we don't feel that there's a scarcity of air, so nobody is collecting air because there's
Yeah,
abundance
correct.
of it. Yeah. So the concept of scarcity is very much linked
It
to
is. It
what.
is.
Yeah.
So a lot, and at Money and You we talk about this a lot as well, about where it came from, and scarcity is built into the system. Okay, we learn scarcity, we acquire scarcity as a belief when we were very, very young, that there's not enough, survival of the fittest. The bell
Yeah.
curve in school.
So I
Some
mean,
will do well, some will not.
yeah, but people will always hang on to scarcity because the people that is in control wants to control
Yeah.
the supply so that they can create scarcity so to get people to control the people. For example, in Star Trek, when in future we probably can actually manufacture food synthetically. We are doing research to produce food synthetically. I mean, it's not synthetically that we cannot eat it, but we actually can grow food in the lab, and eventually it could be in such an advanced manner that things that is happening in Star Trek, they can just go to this machine, press the button. It's like you go watch a show, Passenger. So you press that,
Yes.
it come out.
On the spaceship.
Yeah. So it will they just produce it whatever you want. So nobody will feel like food is scarce. If you need it, the machine is able to synthesize from the air, H2O and carbon dioxide and produce and match them and make it into food. Because food basically is carbohydrates and protein and all stuff, and whatever it is carbon dioxide, water is available in the air, nitrogen is available in the air. All these components can be just sucked out from the air and just produced. You just need some way of synthesizing it and make it possible. So it is not impossible. It's just that we don't have the technology yet. But when that happens, somebody is going to start controlling that technology because they want to create scarcity. It's no different from you if you have watched the movie. I keep talking about movies. Total Recall. Have you remember Do you remember the movie Total Recall?
I've heard of it. I'm pretty sure I watched it, but I forgot what's it about.
Humankind actually colonized Mars.
Must.
They are right, Mars. Okay, Mars. And at the moment, at that time, they actually were all housed in domes. And so that and people in there are being controlled by air, because air becomes such a expensive.
Oh, okay.
Because if
Yeah,
you
the people who had access to air held the power.
held the power until eventually the hero in that thing remember that he was part of the thing, and one of the things that he need to do is that there's actually abundance of not air, there's actually a reservoir of frozen, I don't know what, some material and if there, I think it's no, there's frozen water underneath in the core of Mars, and if they are able to inject a certain catalyst into it, you will catalyze it and get it to break up into
Air.
the air, the composition of air that we need. So, but the people wanted to control it, so they didn't allow that technology to be available. They built the machine, they built the whole thing, but it was hidden underground, and people were just hiding it because they want to control. Until at the time, the first movie was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Then subsequently, there was another remake. They went in and started the machine. And then when air was released, the person that was controlling the technology lost power.
Mm.
And it's the
So,
same game. It's the same game that's being played
Mm.
on this planet right now. Okay, with a lot of things. And I think the thing is just recognizing that the game is being played, and I guess that's where being aware of um, having access to information and knowledge. Ignorance is a choice. then gives us choices. Okay, to play the game differently. We may not be able to change the world. I will acknowledge that we may not be able to change the world, but we can change the way we live. We can change the way we impact our immediate environments. We can change the way we impact our communities. We can change the way we create ripples. And I think that's what we can do and we can choose to do. Okay, and not play the cat and mouse game that's going on on the planet. And I think one of the things is to actually recognize the truth past all the stories that are going on, and the world. Okay, I think the world. One thing we need to acknowledge is that the world is driven by consumerism. Okay, the movement of money, the movement of products and services, a lot of which we don't need. But it's so driven by it, and until we realize that we don't need to play that game, okay, we are stuck in that game. Okay, and I think if it was up to me, then that's the thing that I would keep saying to people. We don't have to play the game. We don't have to play that consumer game. Yeah,
Are those your
and
last
maybe some point we'll get out of this.
Get out of the rat race, get out of the consumer game.
Yeah.
Mm.
So MoneyBox, we were saying, okay, so nice, right? So nice to catch, so nice to catch it and continue to make money, but then again, is it really so nice? Because money is just an idea. Money is just a tool. Okay,
Mm.
monkeypox, is it a big deal? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. But what we know is that it's rearing its head, and potentially it may have an impact if it swings to the worst side. Okay, where it becomes a lot more transmissible, and then humanity is at risk again, and countries start to lock down, and then we'll be thrown back into another, I don't know how long, or whatever it is. Yeah.
well,
Maybe this is how the world ends. Not with zombies or anything. Economic recession.
well, it will be
Okay.
a longer quarantine period. I mean, Belgium already is the first country that started the quarantine for people with monkeypox.
Have they
21
started?
days. Huh?
Have they started?
Started already. But there is for confirmed cases because it's spreading so fast in Europe. Belgium is the first country in the world that imposed a quarantine for people that come into the country and then they are diagnosed with monkeypox. They will put into quarantine for 21 days.
Hmm.
Sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
On this note, we shall have our last words. Douglas, do you have any last words for us?
Okay, I think the key is education. I think the key is education. The key is being informed. The key is access to information. The key is seeing past the stories that make up our reality. It's really like the Matrix, red pill, blue pill. Take the bloody red pill. Take the bloody red pill and see the truth, see the reality, see the world for what it is, and then that gives us the capacity and choices to make decisions differently. Okay, and not to play this game, okay, in the way the game has been created for us. And to get out of that is increasing awareness through education, through knowledge, through information, and having access to all these resources. And then maybe we'll see, then we'll be able to create different outcomes.
Rachel is having a difficulty typing. Oh,
The key is education.
who's
Oh,
The key is
Rensley?
education.
Who's Rensley?
no, it's our choices differently.
Oh,
Differently. It's too long. So StreamYard automatically split it into two.
Yeah, it's
The last
not
word
right. Why don't they
maybe.
split it like word by word?
Yeah. So
Not so smart.
Okay, I'll go next. What I want to say is, I mean, it's similar to what Douglas is saying, but I just want to say that ignorance is a choice, okay? And things are happening in the world. Um, keep yourself informed and be aware of what's going on, because whatever is happening in the world, even though it may seem remote, it will always impact
Affect
us.
you.
The world is one big connected human living together. So you can't think that it's like far, far away, you will not come here, it will. Okay, we are all connected. What somehow or other, somewhere over there that's happening, eventually you will come back to hit us. So keep informed, be aware, okay, and ignorance is a choice.
Okay, my turn. I wait for Rachel to finish first. Tick tock, tick tock.
Done.
Oh, okay. My last words is quite simple because um quite simple. Do what we can. Yeah, do what we can. Because I know in our conversation sometimes it seems like the problems are way too big for us as individuals to solve. But if everyone do what we can individually, then everybody will be doing something, and then the problem will become smaller and smaller. Right? It's like a huge hunk of cheese, right? So we're all like little mice eating away at the cheese. Everybody eat a bit lah, then the cheese will be gone in no time. That's what I feel. Yeah, so just do what you can. No matter how small, it is making a difference. So don't be disheartened. Yeah. Just do what you can.
Take a small bite of the cheese.
Yeah, so we're
take
all
a
mice
small bite
now.
of the cheese. Huh?
So we're all mouse now.
Yeah, I see, so cute.
So what's that? Douglas, what's that book again?
Who
Mouse
moved my
box.
cheese?
Who
What?
No,
moved
no,
the
this
cheese?
one, the one that the world is actually run by mouse,
Oh, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the
the
Galaxy.
galaxy.
Is that
Yeah,
adventure
we are
show?
just mice. We are just mice in an experiment.
Yeah.
Humanity are just mice in an
Is that a
experiment.
show? The Hitchhiker's Guide
No,
to the
it's
Galaxy?
a book. It's a
Oh.
trilogy in 4 books. It's the
Yeah.
trilogy in 4 books.
Is it a self-development book? Or is
No,
it
no,
a-
No.
it's
It's a
Douglas
storybook.
Adams. It's a no. So it is it. Okay, Douglas Adams is an author. So he wrote this trilogy of 4 books, and he is he has science background and it's actually based on some quantum mechanics, quantum physical theories, um, which we shan't go into because it's too complicated. And then he wrote these 4 books, which starts with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Very entertaining book. But for people who understand quantum physics and all that, right, they will see the underlying themes. Okay, for those who don't, it is a very nice book. It's very interesting. It's very thought provoking. and
Yeah.
it's quite funny as well.
Oh, it's very funny. It's very
Okay.
funny. So it's a
Yeah.
book that is worth
I
reading.
have.
They actually
They
attempted to
made
make a
a
movie out of
movie.
it.
They made a movie. They actually
They
made a
made a
movie.
movie out of it. The movie is not as great as the book. So don't watch
Yeah.
a movie.
The movies are never as great as the books. Never.
Yeah. So
No,
there are a lot of details in the book. Yeah.
Oh, I have now placed a home on the book immediately. Okay, then there's the Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the. I guess that's like book 3 or something. Okay, never mind. I'll figure it out.
it's very
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
It's different.
Oh, this is 5 in 1. Okay, immediately take. So basically, he apparently put all 5 books together.
It's only 4 books.
I don't know. It says 5 novels in 1 outrageous volume.
Yeah. So he wrote the 5th book.
The Ultimate
I think-
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, correct.
But the 4 books originally complete the trilogy.
Oh, Life's Universe and okay, I know. The first one is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Second one is the restaurant at the end of the universe. Is it?
Yes, the restaurant at the end of the
Oh, okay. Oh, I like the title so long and thanks for all the fish.
Mm. That's when the dolphins left the planet.
Dolphins left. Oh, is this what our friend was talking about? That she's a dolphin and not a shark, but she's not a bait either. Is it from this book?
Okay. Anyway,
Oh, sorry.
go look up
Yeah.
the book.
Go look up.
I'm gonna read it. Woohoo! Okay, Ken. Thanks so much. We have many last words today.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Okay,
Rachel's
okay.
last words.
Yeah. The last one, the last
Oh God,
words for the
but
last
Rachel
one.
haven't.
Yeah, so for me, my last word is to expand the reality box by exposing ourselves to different things. I think what I'm most present to at this moment is because of the workshop that I attended over the weekend recently, not Money and You, another one. And it sort of showed me a different view of things. So both good and bad. So it's about expanding my box and for those who are watching, every one of you, our box to incorporate more things. There's always new things that's outside that we have not thought of or seen before. So yeah, that's that.
So always open your box for new things, except for all the popsers. All the popsers, okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
including
I think that's
pox,
it.
including
Yeah.
your big pox and your gorilla pox.
Otherwise, you cannot pops. Okay, sorry. That's totally not together with the conversation. Oh, okay, I guess that's the end of today's episode. We will see you guys in 2 weeks' time for the next one of Ouch My Money. Please like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. We are on YouTube, obviously, and Facebook. That's it. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Okay, feel free to cut in the music whenever. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see when I should cut it
No need,
in.
no need.
whether
You can just. I'm just gonna read.
Yeah.
It's a repeat. Like, share,
Oh my
Okay, see you
goodness.
guys.
like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.